Crowdfunding seems to be one of the main ways we get games and adventures made in this tabletop role-playing game hobby. And you know what? I'm 100% here for supporting small creators, getting their books and their games produced. So let's talk about a few projects that I think are super awesome. Now, I've been doing a lot of promotion for my own Kickstarter this past month. Dragontown in the Darkness Below launched a couple days ago on Kickstarter and has already more than doubled its funding goal. I am just so grateful for all the support that's been shown, and I cannot wait to make this book and the box set happen. Now, if I'm being totally honest, I'm a little burnt out talking about my own stuff so much, so in this video, I want to show off a few other projects I think are super cool looking, so we can all go and support some other rad creators as well. Let's start things off with one of my favorite game designers. Spencer Campbell from Gila RPGs is crowdfunding a new diceless RPG called Loot. He describes it as looter shooter mechanics with a West Marches vibe, so the players are going to be exploring, going on quests for different factions, like going to and from this city. When they complete a quest, they get paid with sweet loot, and these items are what make each character unique. You want to be building up your collection of loot, and that's what makes up your character. The game is diceless, so as you explore, obstacles are overcome by managing your force, flow, and focus resources. Combat happens on a 6x6 grid. You kind of move your character around, use your items, and you're all working together to try and figure out the upper hand in this grid, in this encounter. Spencer makes these wonderfully tight, streamlined games that are just full of flavor, and I can't wait to learn more about the factions and see all of these items and all of the loot, and also see what kind of starting adventures are in there. Charles Ferguson Avery is doing all of the artwork, so that's gonna be awesome. Check out the Kickstarter campaign for Loot. It's linked in the description. In fact, everything I'm talking about in this video is gonna be down there, so definitely check out all of the links. Next up, I want to talk about a book called SideQuest. Anto from Icarus Games has a Patreon that's kind of similar to mine, where he puts out a PDF each month filled with super fun creations, whatever he comes up with that month. And at the end of the year, he does a Kickstarter campaign to collect all of the rad stuff he's made into one big hardcover book called SideQuest. And what I love about these SideQuest anthologies is just the incredible variety of ideas to use in your games. Anto makes 5e focused stuff, so we're talking tons of new monsters and magic items. There's fun locations, like this magic library that's hidden at the bottom of the ocean sounds super cool, and even stuff like no prep adventures. The one in the preview is this wizard vault heist where the players get hired to steal this helm that, spoiler, actually ends up being the wizard. Super, super cool. There's GM advice and NPCs and factions that you can just drop into your game. The whole anthology reads to me like an enthusiastic DM having a lot of fun coming up with all kinds of stuff to surprise their players with. And that's exactly the kind of ideas I want to pull out and use in my own games, and that's exactly the kind of creator that I want to support. Next up, let's talk Vagabond. So Taryn, or Indestructible here on YouTube, is running a GameFound campaign to get a print run going for his game Vagabond. And what strikes me right away about this game are all of the character options. Each class gets new abilities every other level, and then you can choose perks in between to really customize your character. You got stuff like rogues and wizards, but there's also classes like merchants and dancers, a gunslinger and luminaries. Really, really fun classes. Feels like awesome fantasy indie comic stuff, and I just love that feeling, right? The actual system is a D20, roll over your skills, and while I haven't played the game yet, it seems like the rules are there to keep things moving quickly. This game is more about fast action than it is about real granular tactical combat. Totally my style of game. And with all these character options and items and spells, there are so many cool spells in this. really about the players having fun doing awesome stuff. Now, it's clear to me that Taran has taken elements he loves out of other games and crafted them together into an extremely impressive game. It really feels like 3 big hardcover books worth of material have been crammed into this thing, and it just makes it as compelling and as fun as possible. Okay, real quick, I want to mention a campaign that hasn't started yet, but it will very soon. Roland Kunz is the awesome illustrator I know from Orkborg, is making a really cool looking narrative dungeon crawler called Die in a Dungeon. You use cards and dice and you build the dungeon out as you play, and you make decisions as you go through based on your character. It's kind of roguelike in the way that each dungeon is a different run you're going on. There isn't a ton of info on the Kickstarter page right now, but you can sign up to be notified when it launches. There's also an itch page that I'll have linked, and you can go see way more about the game, how it works, everything there. I'm really excited to try this one out, especially because all the crazy artwork going on, it looks super, super fun. Now let's talk about Matt Finch's Tome of Worldbuilding. This is the kind of resource that I love. I'm a big fan of Matt's Tome of Adventure design. Whenever I get really stuck writing out my own adventures or encounters or anything really, this is the book that I pick up. So now that Matt is putting together this book all about creating your own world, I just can't wait. It looks like there's a whole process for building the entire world, from how the planet was created to the continents, terrain, the cultures, the locations, like everything. And if it's anything like his other books, I believe it's gonna be everything. This sounds like a super fun way to create a world, but I'm really more interested in just using all of these tables as a way to fill in the gaps in the things that I'm already creating. And maybe even more helpful, there's an entire second book in this campaign called the Nomicon. Nomicon? All about creating names. For me, this is the absolute hardest part. I spend proportionally way too much time trying to come up with cool names, so I cannot wait for this book. I'll take any help I can get. I'm all about helpful resources to make getting my adventures to the game table as easy as possible, so I know that this world design and this Nomicon book probably aren't even gonna make it to my bookshelf. They're just gonna sit on my desk right next to my notebook and my keyboard at all times. Next up, I wanted to shout out the Pirate Borg Down Among the Dead Kickstarter. This doesn't really need any extra promotion because they are crushing it, and it makes perfect sense because the expansion looks awesome. You know, I'm all about the writer-illustrator combo. When it's one person, it feels special, and I feel like Luke, or he goes by Limithron, has made something really special here. I can't wait to explore the Dark Caribbean because the writing, layout, and art are all coming from a singular, cohesive vision. That kind of stuff just really inspires me. They're putting out so much stuff, it's almost overwhelming looking at the page. There's just so much cool stuff, but I think the absolute coolest thing might be this Cabin Fever book. So it's an anthology of community content, classes, monsters, adventures, solo rules, just tons of cool stuff, all given by the community. And I just think it's so rad that these dudes are creating a game that people like and want to just support the community by releasing an entire book showcasing what the players have made. To me, that's super inspiring, something I strive for one day. So go support Pirate Borg. The game is awesome, and then all of this extra stuff is just going to be so cool. And that's my list. Lots of awesome stuff being crowdfunded right now. Check out all the links in the description. And if you have any other projects you think are cool, drop them down in the comments. Let's go support some tabletop role-playing games. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!